Alright, so this is just some practice on division. We're going to do one division with a one-digit divisor. And remember, like when you're looking at a division problem, okay, so let's say we have 2 goes into 12, okay? So the divisor is this number right here. It's the number that's going in. This is the quotient. It's the answer, okay? And this one is the dividend. That's the number being divided, okay? So you have done two-digit dividends for a while, but now we're getting into two-digit divisors. But before I do a two-digit divisor, I'm just going to do a quick review of the one-digit. And if you know about dangerous monkeys, okay? Dangerous monkeys steal bananas, okay? Remember, that tells you that you divide first, then you multiply, then you subtract, then you bring down, okay? Those steps are going to be the same whether you're doing one-digit divisors or two-digit divisors, okay? So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to do a one-digit divisor, okay, and a three-digit dividend. So I'm going to do 5, okay? Goes into 327, so 327 divided by 5. I think you can tell that I'm going to have a remainder. You should be able to tell because 5 is not going to go evenly into 327. So I start over here at the left. 5 can't go into 3, but it can go into 32. So I divide first. 32 divided by 5 would be 6, because 6 is the closest, okay? So I put the 6 above where the 32 would be. I don't move it way over here. It goes above the 32, and then I multiply. 6 times 5 is 30. So I've divided, I've multiplied, now I subtract. 32 minus 30 is 2. And now I bring down, okay? So I bring down the 7, and then I start back at the top. I divide, okay? So 5 goes into 27 5 times. 5 times 5, multiplying, is 25. Subtract. 27 minus 25 is 2. 5 can't go into 2, so I have a remainder. I have a remainder of 2. So the answer is 65, remainder 2. Okay, so that worked with my one-digit divisor. Okay, let's try with a bigger number. Okay, let's try a two-digit divisor and a three-digit dividend. Okay, so I'm going to do 327 again. But this time I'm not going to break it up into 5 parts. I'm going to break it up into 25 parts. So 25 going into 327. Multiple digit divisors are the same as single digits. The process is just exactly the same. It's still the dangerous monkeys steal bananas. Okay? It is the exact same. Except now, instead of 5, I have 25. So I'm going to think 25 won't go into 3, but 25 will go into 32. Now, I know that two 25s make 50, and 50 is bigger than 32. So the closest I can get is 1 time. Okay, so I've divided. 32 divided by 25 equals 1. Now, 1 times 25 is 25. So now I've multiplied. Now I subtract. Okay. can't do 2 minus 5, so I do 12 minus 5 is 7. 2 minus 2 is 0, which I don't have to write. Okay? And now I can bring down. Okay? And I bring down the 7. So 25 is a nice number because most of us can kind of think about multiplying by 25 or counting by 25s because we think about quarters. 25, 50, 75, $1. And I know that 75 is pretty close to 77, and I know that 3/4 is 75 cents. So I know that 3 times 25 equals 75. So I've divided. Now I multiply. And then I subtract. 77 minus 75 equals 2. 25 can't go into 2, so I have a remainder. So my answer is 13 remainder 2. Okay. Now let's do one where it's just a totally weird number. Okay. We're going to do, it's another 2-digit number. So I'm going to come down to here. Move my camera a little bit. Okay. And I'm going to do 64. Okay. And I'm going to do a 4-digit dividend. I'm going to do 64 into 3,412. Okay. I have no idea if that's going to go in evenly or not. The odds are probably no. Okay. So now, 64 is not a number I count by often or ever. Okay. My process is the same. Dangerous monkeys steal bananas. I'm going to divide, I'm going to multiply, I'm going to subtract, I'm going to bring down. Okay? So, I start at the beginning. 64 isn't going to go into 3. And it's not going to go into 34. So I have to come all the way over here to 341. Now I know 64 will fit in there, okay? So I know that whatever my answer is, it's going to go up here, starting here, okay? Since you don't know your 64s, you just have to guess. And that's uncomfortable, and it takes some time, and there simply is no other way to do it, okay? So when I have a number like 64, I think, well, I mean, that's kind of close to 50. So I've got 341. Well, there's 2 50s in each 100. So 6 50s fit into 341. But 64 is bigger. Okay. So I'm going to try 5. Okay. Why 5? Because 6 50s would fit in here, but 64 is bigger. Okay. So I'm going to do 64 times 5. And I just have to do the math, okay? 4 times 5, 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 6 is 11, plus 2 is, 5 times 6 is 30, plus 2 is 32. Okay? Now you have to ask yourself, can you fit another 64 in there? No, you can't, okay? So the answer is indeed 5, okay? So I've divided. I've already done the multiplication. 5 times 64 equals 320. And now I subtract. 1 minus 0 is 1. 4 minus 2 is 2. 21. Okay. If this number is bigger than your divisor, that's how you know you've messed up somewhere. Okay. And now I bring down. I bring down a 2. Okay. So again, 64 is kind of close to 50. 4 50s would fit in there. So I would probably guess 3, but I'm just going to show you how this works. And I'm going to do 64 times 4. Okay. I'm going to say I guessed 4. Right. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay. 4 times 6 is 24. Plus 1 is 25. 256. 256 is too big. Okay? So now I would have to guess a smaller number than 4. Now I would do 64 times 3. Okay. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Okay. 192 is the closest I can get to 212 without fitting in another 64. Okay. So what did I do? I just did 3. So that's how I know a 3 goes up here. And then 3 times 64, I just figured out, is 192. Okay, and now I subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 9 I can't do. Okay, so I'm going to borrow. Okay. 11 minus 9 is 2. Okay. 64 won't fit into 20, so I have a remainder. So my answer is 53, remainder 20. Now, I liked doing my math on this kind of paper because it's just, it lines up the numbers nicely, but you can do this on line paper, okay? So going from single digit to a double digit that's familiar to a double digit that is unfamiliar, I mean, this is a lot of work, okay? No one's saying that this is easy or fun or like, this is what you'd want to do with your weekend spare time, but this is what even adults have to do if they are doing long division by hand. So that's the process.